Okay, so what I'm going to talk to you about in terms of doing perspective when you're out and about is looking at your pencil as if it were the hands of the clock. You don't have space on a sketchbook to find your vanishing points and work from them. So I'm just going to turn my pencil round like the hands of a clock, and it has to stay flat. If you start taking it forward and back, it doesn't work. So you just have to think of it as this flat rotation. So I'm going to hold that up to my object to start drawing my shapes, and I'll show you how it works. So I hold my pencil using the rotation of the clock hands to the angle that I want it to be, and then I'm going to move it down to my paper and measure the angle on the paper. Right, so I've got that down. That's the angle that I need for that piece of the roof. So I'm now going to draw in that angle there. So the next thing I'm going to look at is the perspective on the side of the roof. So we'll go back up and have a look at that. Okay, so the temptation here is to follow the angle of the roof with your pencil because it goes away. And what you have to do is make sure that you then get your angle. Using the clock face, you need to get your angle based on that clock face. So once you've got the angle right, then I'm going to bring it back down to the paper. So we'll just come down here and put that on my paper, and that's the angle that I need to draw at. So I'm going to put the joint in the roof. And my verticals are fairly straightforward. Right, so this angle and this angle are almost the same, so I'm quite happy just drawing that freehand. Right, but now I need to check the angle coming down the other side here. So I'm now measuring the return of the top of the door here. So I'm going to get that angle there, and then I'm going to bring it back down to the picture. And put that on my picture and draw that return in there. Okay, so I've now measured the length of that piece of wood, and I'm going to bring that down to the picture as well. I'll bring that down and I can measure that, which comes to about there. And this one's going to come to about there. So there's a certain amount of freehand drawing, particularly with my verticals. Now here's another little trick. If you're not sure about drawing a vertical line, hook your finger onto the side of the paper, put your pencil down, and then just run the two together, and you end up with a vertical line. I shall do the same on this side. And once you've got a few of these lines in, it feels easier putting some of the others in. But you can always use it just to double check. Right, so let me just double check an angle. You can see a bit of the return there of the wood. And there is my lucky horseshoe sat in there. The angle I'm at, I can see just underneath that piece of wood. Right. No, that's got to go further down there. So now I've got these angles in, it's easier just to work out the rest of these without needing to measure them, but you can always double check them. Now the horizontal bars going across here aren't entirely flat for me, so I just need to go and measure those now. So I'm just checking these angles, and one thing to remember on these is that these fan slightly. So my top angle is going to be about there, but my middle is about there, and then my bottom is about there. So they're actually fanning out ever so slightly. So let's get that top one again. And then I'm going to move that down onto the picture. And that's coming in there, so that's the angle I need for that top one. So the middle one is going to be here, and the bottom one is about there. Okay, got my windowsill coming across here. And then I've got the side area here, my window frame. And I want to check this angle here. If you're not confident about putting your pencil down and then picking up and drawing the line, you can always have two pencils or a brush and a pencil so that you can draw along it, so that's fine. And then I'll put some of these verticals in. And I've got the slates coming in. And then we have all of these grasses. I've got my gladioli just coming up here. Some more there. My hydrangea in the foreground. Now for me, behind here, this side is shaded, so I'm just going to put some dark in behind there, shadow underneath my lip here, bit of shading under there. Then we have all of these lovely grasses that come up in front of this. So we're starting to get the feel for this place, but it's all about those angles, and once you've measured them you can put those straight down, and that makes life so much easier than trying to work out your perspective. So like I say, you just have to remember to think of your pencil as the hands of a clock, and don't dip it backwards and forwards, and then you should be able to measure that angle, put it straight down onto your picture, and job's a good one.